Okay, before we start the presentation, I just want to first of all thank you for accepting our invitation to become a webinar host in our enterprise support community. For everyone else, this is Umar's first webinar in the community. I'm really glad that he accepted our invitation. He's been an LBE, an elite user of the community for some years now. He is one of the most active, the most outstanding users of our community. So even though this is his first TechTalk, his first webinar, he's been an active member of our community for some years now. He's very familiar with our community, and I want to thank him for taking his role as well. As you all know, today's topic is Huawei CloudCampus solution. If you have any questions, please address them in the chat option. Okay, for now, I will stop speaking. I will let you take over, okay?
All right. First of all, thank you for having me, and thank you for the invite for the session. Okay. As Alina already briefed about the topic, it's about a cloud campus overview and full life cycle management and automation of the campus networks. So I'll start with my introduction. Alina has already briefed a couple of very good points about me. So I'll just add that I'm currently working as a manager pre-sales for IP and IT solutions for a Huawei value-add partner in Pakistan. And I hold quite some certifications regarding not only the post-sales, but also in the pre-sales IP datacom domain. I hope these come handy today. So without any further ado, let's move to the topic. And some of the contents of our presentation will be the challenges that are faced by the traditional campus networks and what are the characteristics that we see to address these challenges, and how Huawei has come up with a solution to solve these challenges of the traditional campus networks that are faced by organizations these days. Then we'll move forward with the components of the Huawei proposed cloud campus networks. One of the core components is iMaster NCE-Campus. So we'll go through it in detail. Let me just add a pointer as well over here. All right. And then we'll see campus network full cycle, life cycle management. One of the component is WLAN Planner, then plug and play network devices. And in the last, we'll see the automated network development that is part of the life cycle management. So before even moving towards the campus networks, let's go through what are campus networks in itself. Campus networks are a cornerstone for digital transformation of enterprises and organizations. They bridge between the physical and digital worlds. Facing rapidly emerging technologies, applications, enterprises, and organizations urgently need to deploy intelligent and reliable campus networks in a simplified and fast manner. They have all organizations come up with a need of an application. So to support that application, they need an infra, they need a network, they need services. And cloud, basically the campus network is the basic and cornerstone for all of these. Huawei Cloud Campus solution is designed for enterprises of all sizes to build ultra broadband, intelligent, simplified, and secure campus networks, enabling enterprises to gain real-time insights into and quickly respond to network and services need. And this basically webinar will systematically introduces Huawei Cloud Campus solution, including solution architecture, key components, key functions, and features. So what we have right now, currently campus networks are moving from PC era to cloud era. In the PC era, campus networks are mainly used for office services and connecting via terminals. Campus applications are deployed locally and all the terminals directly connect to applications that are available in the local data center. Therefore, most traffic on the campus network is transmitted from terminals to local servers. Mainly, it's a south west traffic in the network. So this is one of things, one of the characteristics of the current cloud campus networks. In addition, most terminals are fixed terminals, and wired network, all the wireless networks are as a complementary services that are provided to the users. But how we are moving forward with the advancement in tech, now things are a bit changing. All the applications, they are moving on the cloud side. You can see there are campuses with multiple branches, and there is a requirement of free mobility for these devices, that when a user moves from head office to the branch, they want to have the same access rights. They want to go through same policies they had in the head office, or whenever they're moving, they should have the same thing. So, excuse me. So previously, what we had was wired was necessary and wireless was complementary. Now it's the other way around, that wireless is a necessary part of every new campus, and wired is there just to support in case of any issue. And even all the legacy devices like printers, scanners, and other security devices, they used to connect through the LAN. Even those devices are now being moved to the wireless area. So this tendency accelerates the mobility of the users and terminals they use, making continuous network and high availability roaming experience of a Wi-Fi a fundamental requirement for any campus network. In any legacy campus network, typically what we see are that wireless networks are designed on ad hoc basis, that customer puts in wireless AP where they feel this result in where they feel that AP will cover the requirement, but there is no systematic way of adding access points to the designated locations, or there is no proper planning that goes through the Wi-Fi requirement. So this results in a coverage gaps and doesn't provide blanket coverage as it should. Secondly, in this way, there is a lot of co-channel interference also there to add salt to the customer experience. So when, for example, you can see there is a coverage gap over here. So when a user will move from an AP1 to this APN, for example, if they're on a internet call, or if they're even watching a YouTube video or something, there will be a jitters here. Even if they're on call, the call might break. So it's a very discontinuous and displeasant experience for a user. So, and secondly, in a traditional network, what we see is that whenever issue occurs, it is a cumbersome task to first locate an issue, identify the fault, and locate where the error actually happened. And so this is a very labor-intensive management that currently goes on and makes the life of a IT staff miserable whenever they face an issue. For example, in traditional networks, what you see that normally there's a separate NMS that only looks after the SNMP traps sent through the devices, but it doesn't actually give you the user experience. So whenever user complains of a, let's say, Wi-Fi network, this IT staff doesn't have any tools to cater those. Now, moving to the third challenge that traditional campuses face, there is no way to provide local internet breakout to the branches, and all the traffic has to go through a headquarter, right? So, like for example, in banking sector, if we talk about, there are some applications that are in-house, like their core banking applications that always sits in the main data center, but there are some applications that are cloud-based as well, even in the banking sector right now. So, but in traditional campuses, there is no way to provide a local breakout for the branch to directly go to the cloud and access the application. What they do is the branch reaches out to the head office. From head office, all the applications are accessed. Then all the results are queued back to the branch. Though this adds a lot of unnecessary load to the HQ network traffic, and also adds delay in the traffic flow. So again, it gives a very bitter taste to the customer experience when it comes to the network management part. And lastly, we can see that in the traditional networks, if there is a campus that has only one building, that's all right. Three-layer architecture works where we have access, aggregation, and core. But if we are going for the campus where we have multiple buildings, and there are users that move from building 1 to building 2, the scalability is very hard to achieve. So basically, what we see, for example, if you want to make one subnet talk to another subnet in another location, like another building of the same campus, when you want to provision some particular user group in another building, you are limited to the scalability of that user group, because here it is limited to a layer 3 boundary or layer 2 boundary there. Also, there are high power utilization, because you see that in a campus network, we are limited by the RJ45 PoE output of that it cannot go beyond 180 meter, and overall connectivity doesn't go beyond 100 meters. So to achieve that, we have to put multiple access switches, and then to cater those access switches, we have to put multiple aggregation switches, and those aggregations then come back to the core switch. So overall, it not only adds delay, but also adds cost and results in higher power consumption. With all the world going green, this was a very bad thing that is going on the campus network. So we have solutions not only to overcome this 100-meter RJ45, 100-meter copper cat 6 limitation, but also we can reduce the number of access switches required, and therefore we are going more of on a greener side. So just to now we have seen the 4 challenges. What we go through are the 4 characteristics of cloud campus networks. Now, cloud campus networks are designed for the cloud era, and they must have these 4 characteristics to reach out to qualify as a cloud campus network. The first one is autonomous driving network. With the maturity and a large-scale deployment of software-defined network technologies, SDN is no longer a stranger to the enterprise user. Instead, SDN support is almost a factor that must be considered when they build a new campus network. On a cloud campus network, SDN must be supported over the wired switching network, that is on the LAN, WAN, and WLAN networks. SDN eliminates the need to manage, operate, and maintain a network using traditional network management and O&M methods, but instead it enables network service provisioning and network policy deployment to be carried out in a centralized and simplified manner. Cloud campus networks also support AI-based management, intelligent O&M, making networks more intelligent. For example, if there is any trend or fault that can be predicted based on the historical network data. In addition, users' network experience must be visualized on a cloud campus networks. For example, if a Wi-Fi experience problem is detected, the customer journey needs to be displayed in a end-to-end manner, or intelligent analysis needs to be provided to illustrate why is the user poor experience caused by the problem in the access management, or if there was a user in they had a problem in user authentication, what was the issue that was causing this problem? What are the possible root causes, and corresponding solutions. Suggestions must be provided in all these aspects. So one thing is for sure that the traditional campus networks don't have any of these. They don't have intelligent O&M. They don't have the feature to visualize network experience and provide proactive optimization over here. Second is there is a one global network, that one network for all the services and in the headquarter and branches. For example, if there is a user, or we see that generally in the sales scenario, the salesperson moves from head office to the branch, and from branch, they go to some other branches as well. They move around. And what they want is a unified experience, that what they were getting in the head office, they should get the same experience in the, sorry, it's not going up. Is there a question? Okay, no. All right. So they want to have the same experience, and not only in the head office, but also in the branch as well. So wherever they're moving, they want to have the same username password to log in to their network. They want to use the same credentials, same policies, same access rights, whatever they have in the head office, in the branch as well, or other way around, whatever they were having in the branch. Once they move to the head office, they should have the same privileges and same stuff going on for them in the head office as well. So in the wireless access, the critical factor for ensuring an optimal access experience of wireless users, such as their roaming experience, include wireless WLAN networking, AP deployment, access point model selection, air interface technologies, etc. CloudCampus network needs to have a WLAN network on which continuous Wi-Fi signal coverage is provided to meet the user's mobility requirement, because we see that now all the users, even in the offices, normally instead of calling using the GSM network, they are using a voice over LTE, or even the IP calling is more in offices in these days. So they want to have the same experience even if they are moving on the mobile phone. Growing number of IoT terminals are accessing campus networks. These IoT terminals usually require a network for a data backhaul. Traditional backhaul networks are deployed independently of the campus networks, which increases cost and complicates management and O&M. Converged deployment of WLAN and IoT does not only simplify network, but also improve network management, O&M, and provide a better efficiency. For example, we'll see in the following slide that we have a huge range of wireless access points that provide a slot, a specialized slot for IoT terminals to deploy deployed on. All right. So this gives extra benefit of, instead of managing two different networks, one for IT, one for IoT, you can have just one converged network to manage both of these together. And from the perspective of environmental protection, campus networks should be low carbon, simple in network architecture, easy to manage and expand, and devices should evolve towards low carbon and energy saving models. In addition to low carbon, campus networks must be able to support future service growth. For example, when a service volume increases, the network infrastructure must be able to evolve smoothly without any addition of any other components that may go for the high carbon or high power consumption requirement. So, and to meet all of these four characteristics, we have a unique Huawei solution called CloudCampus. It really matches with the requirement and characteristics of CloudCampus networks. If we want to provide complete wireless network experience, we are very strong in Wi-Fi. Huawei already has Wi-Fi 7 rolled out their devices are ready for the Wi-Fi 7, and right now these are just under the provision from the local authorities for the network deployment. But even talking about Wi-Fi 6 and Wi-Fi 6E, these devices are already in the market. Already, a lot of hundreds of customers are using these access points on the switching side to support the higher bandwidth requirement. Huawei has a complete range of 1G, 10G, even 40 gig and 100 gig switches. And they are generally 40 and 100G switches are not that popular in the campus network because it's not required. But even if they are required, it's available from Huawei side, and customers can use them if they have a requirement. Moreover, even switches with a 10G or 40G downlink and 100G uplink are also available in case there is a multi-gig switch requirement, or if there is a requirement of high bandwidth. So over here we have iMaster NCE-Campus, which focuses on the SDN, on the LAN and WAN for the SD-LAN and SD-WAN segment for the automatic network provisioning of underlay and overlay. And we have iMaster Campus Insight, which focuses on the intelligent O&M, user network and application experience assurance. Also to extent of self-healing from any fault based on the network, intelligent network technologies. So on one global network where our edge routers are already capable of supporting SRv6 combined with SD-WAN, this is really promising for the next generation 5G networking. Like XRv6 can be extended from the backbone, extending the benefits not only go through like only to the backbone area, but the metro area, and also to the end CPE area to the customer. So end to end, it's a one global network to be managed in low carbon intelligence network where we break through traditional limitation of 100-meter distance of copper cables for PoE. Now we can provide up to 60-watt PoE over the distance of 300 meters. And if PoE is not required, it's just a matter of connectivity, we can extend it up to 1.8 kilometers, thus reducing the need of layer 2 switches quite significantly. It also means that the complexity of the access layer can be removed by removing a lot of access switches and even the aggregation switches at some point, and save the energy. Now we'll see that we have a complete range for wireless experience for every kind of industry that we have over here. So we can see these industries one by one. For higher education, now we see that most of the teaching experiences are going for the AR, VR technologies that require much higher bandwidth and much lower latency to have a smart classroom experience, or e-bag kind of a solution for customers. So in higher education, wireless is a mandatory now. And as we saw that in legacy networks, in legacy campus networks, it was wired and wireless was complementary. But now we are seeing the flow where wireless is going for taking over the wired network, and wired is just there to complement the wireless. So all the multimedia teachings and going for the AR or VR experiences, it's basically transforming from wired to wireless. And Huawei has a complete range. We can go through these. We'll see the Air Engine series, Wi-Fi 6 and 6E APs in the following slides. For large enterprises, they want a fully wireless offices, especially if we talk about retail, where we need RFID-based IoT sensors that are mandatory these days for the large enterprises to quickly deploy and scale out. For example, if there is a new branch going on for any large enterprise, we'll see that they can't go through the traditional life cycle of once building finish the building, then complete a wired network, go through I mean, they spend a couple of weeks to complete the wired network and get switches, then access points and all that. Instead, they can just have one switch, connect all the access points to that switch, and manage their network from there. Same in the we have seen in the retail that it's all about the first mover advantage. So whenever they are going for a retail outlet has to open in a new building or facility, just like any large enterprise branch, they can't wait for the long cycles of deploying the network in traditional way. Secondly, through their Wi-Fi APs, they can they have the electronic shelf labeling tech, where they can change the prices or change the shelf label based on the IoT sensors. Even on the self-service checkouts, there are wireless scales that help the consumers to complete their purchase. So it's all about getting wireless and getting the best experience in the network. In the manufacturing industry, the major use cases of AGVs and automated assembly lines for production to minimize the human error or minimize human intervention, because we all know that human resources are a bit expensive. And their cost keeps on increasing year by year. So once we have automated all that and we have introduced the AGVs, augmented guided vehicles, we reduce the risks of human errors and accidents on the manufacturing plants to the minimum. Secondly, through complete wireless network, we can have a high quality inspection through VR, or we can have a proper simulations for the retail through the AR technology. And again, this is only made possible through the best fully wireless experience. Then when talk about the massive number of branches, if we talk about, let's say, in the case of large enterprise or retail, they have, let's take an example of a bank. A bank has, let's say, 1,500, 2,000 branches across the country. So adding more switches, adding wired network, it not only add cost to the network, but also what they need is a number of resources to manage each branch. Instead, what they want is a minimum resources on site, maximum management through a centralized O&M portal, and to not only reduce the number of persons on site, but also to get a better view of what's going on in the branch. And the last one is a public services, like on the airport. Whenever a user go to an airport, they expect to have a Wi-Fi available, or whenever user goes to any, excuse me, or whenever user goes to any public shopping mall, again, they expect to have a Wi-Fi available. So with all these requirements coming up, it also creates a business opportunity for the business owners, like on a public Wi-Fi area in a smart city, for example, or in a shopping mall. They can go for the push marketing, where they can push all the ads or the market, all the offers going on in the mall, or for example, if there are any special offers going in the airport as well, they can push through all the agents that are connected to the Wi-Fi. So given the requirement of all these higher education, enterprises, retail, banking, manufacturing, public service. The fully wireless experience is a must these days. So,
Sorry, Umar,
yeah.
before you continue, I sent you questions in chat.
All right, sure. Yeah, I'm just going.
Thank
you. Okay, I'll take the first question by Kashif. For the PUE, what we can go up to even 960 meters, but again the voltage will go down. For example, for 300 meter, we can give up to 60 watts. That is PUE plus plus. But if we just need PUE, we can go up to even 900 meters. And if there is no PUE requirement, we can go up to 1.8 kilometer as well. All right, and what Huawei devices we can manage?
Can you please also read the questions for the others?
Yeah, sure. The next question is, what Huawei devices we can manage through iMaster NCE-Campus with on-campus to manage IP equipment, or it can also manage POL devices. What about third-party equipment managing authentication? And see, basically, iMaster NCE-Campus can manage not only IP devices, but also the third-party devices. I'm not sure about the POL. I can double check and get back to you. And will we have all these questions later on so that I can answer later on as well, just after double checking the POL devices, for example, over here. Alina?
Yes.
Can
yeah,
we get
can
all?
Continue, sure.
Sure. All right. So I have the username over here. Maybe if you can rename yourself to a proper, to your actual name, so it would be easier to answer you directly. But sure, I'll double check this and I'll get back to you. Okay. And okay, the next question is from Kashif. Can we use iMaster as WLAN controller, or we need to add hardware WLC? What are the recommendations? Should we use both, or we can use iMaster as a controller? Yes, we can use iMaster as a WLAN controller. I have detailed slides coming up on the iMaster, right, I think after 2 or 3 slides, where I'll explain that. And just to add more on this, we have when we have iMaster, I don't think we should go for a separate WLAN controller, as it will be another single, or if we have a redundant WLAN controller, we'll have 2 more devices to manage. But through iMaster, we can manage APs, and we can have a unified policy management through iMaster. So it's not required. However, in a case where user has already deployed WLC in their environment, and they already have APs, then iMaster can support both in this scenario as well. All right. I hope this answers your question. Next one. How does a fully wireless intelligent campus network ensure reliable and seamless connectivity for various devices across the campus? Okay, in this scenario, again, I have slides that are coming up in the next slides. There are, in the wireless intelligent campus network, it not only monitors the APs if they're through the SNMP, but also ensures the traffic going through telemetry, that there are no jitters, or it ensures that the user connected to the AP has a seamless experience, seamless connectivity. If it automatically load balances all the traffic on the access point as well. So if it sees that there are, let's say, 35 users that are connected on AP1, and it has a neighboring AP, AP2 and AP3, which has only 5 and 10 users connected respectively, it will automatically try to move some of the load from AP1 to AP2 and 3, so that the traffic on everyone is reduced, and user can get a unified experience that they are expecting from the wireless, right? And the next question is, how does this wireless network solution address the challenges of mobility and BYOD scenarios on the campus? Basically, this question is more related to the WLAN itself, but I'll answer it that we have a customer, basically guest authentication portal available in iMaster wireless controller as well, that whenever a user brings their own device, right, they connect on a network, a user authentication portal is open, and they give their credentials, or they can authorize the device based on the network policy. For example, there are organizations, for example, bank, that don't allow BYOD devices, right? But again, sorry, I just lost it. But then there are organizations that allow BYOD, but first you have to get your device registered on the network, and later on you can use it. And then there are third kind of organizations that don't care what kind of a device you bring. So as soon as you bring your own device, you go to the guest authentication portal, get yourself authenticated, and you're good to go with the a network, right? And you're connected to the network and you can access your applications. Okay, how does, next question is, how does a fully wireless intelligent campus network support emerging technologies like 5G and Wi-Fi 6? Basically, again, Wi-Fi 6 and 5G, they're not directly related to the intelligent campus network. These are just a support. For example, Wi-Fi 6 is now it's also considered a kind of a legacy. We have Wi-Fi 6E and Wi-Fi 7 that is going on. But what they do is that with all these technologies, for example, in Wi-Fi 6, if we talk about the latency, it was quite low latency, but in Wi-Fi 6E and Wi-Fi 7, we have a better optimized OFDMA protocols that support and go for the ultra low latency. That is a basic requirement for 5G networks. Okay, so these are basically connected like you see bricks on a wall, that each tech is supporting the other one to get a better experience. All right. Okay, this has been answered. And how does the solution address the challenges of a modern campus network? That's already addressed in this. I think that was the third slide. How does a fully wireless intelligent campus network? Okay, it's done. How many NEs can be managed at most by a iMaster NCE-Campus? Basically, there are different modes of deploying NCE-Campus. For example, there is a single server deployment, then there is a 3 server deployment, then in quite large enterprises, there is a where we have active DC, then there are backup DC, then in the in between to have a proper I mean, in case of failover, a proper role to the DR, we have arbitration node. So in that case, up to 100,000, but in a single campus, in a single server, we can go up to 6,000 devices, 6,000 NEs that can be managed. What security measures are in place to protect data and users on a fully wireless intelligent campus networks? Okay, I'll answer that in the following slides. Do we have a document available so that we can check with? Yes. Do we have a document available so that we can check which third-party devices are can be managed? Yes, it's available on Huawei website itself. You can register. You can go and search for it in case you don't find it. I'm always here on the support community. I can look it for you and share the document. Okay. What are the features of iMaster Campus regarding security? I'll address this question in the following slides. NCE-Campus can manage POL solutions, AP plus ONT. Again, the campus network is a bit different. It can manage AP, yes, no problem. But for the iMaster NC, there is another version called iMaster NC Fan for POL solutions. All right. So it's basically another version of iMaster that can do that. I think I'll take this opportunity to, in fact, to address different versions of iMaster that we have. For example, for a DCN, for data center network, we have iMaster Fabric and iMaster Fabric Insight that are there to control and manage the data center network, just like we have iMaster NC-Campus and Campus Insight to manage the campus traffic. Right, and then there is a NC fan for POL networks. Okay, what is the significance of automation in security management? I'll address this question in the following slides. What is the AI future role in iMaster NC-Campus? I have this slide on the iMaster Campus Insight. You'll see that Saqib in about 5 minutes or so, once we are done with the questions. Do we have any use cases in Pakistan? Yes, there are multiple use cases, but without getting customer consent, and can't name customers that are using the iMaster in Pakistan. But rest assured, there are multiple campuses, multiple organizations, including bank, education sector, and even some government organizations that are using iMaster Campus and iMaster Fabric. How mature is this product solution? It's very mature, I can assure you that. There's no problem. We have even used it with third-party applications, too many third-party applications. And it's if it doesn't support by default, you can always reach out to Huawei support, and they can help you out in doing that. All right. Future, yes, we have already. Okay, what are the future plans for the Huawei CloudCampus solution? The future plans are to deploy it, though. We can, I think I'll let the Huawei product team to respond on that, because they are the one basically designing the solutions. And going forward, what are the problems associated with the WLAN? I think I went through the problems in the earlier slides, Hafiza. If you have missed that, you can go through the recording of the webinar. How useful plug-and-play of the network devices of Huawei, and what are your recommendations about usage rather than other devices in the market? Okay, I think it's more of a marketing question. It's not related to the topic.
Yes, I think we can do the presentation. We will have Q&A session later, but you still have slides. And in case the slides don't cover the content question, then our participants can ask them. Okay? But now I see that some of the questions will be answered later in the presentation, so I think it's better to move forward.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Sure, no problem. Okay, we'll start with a L3 autonomous driving network. Basically, you guys might be aware of the IDC research that basically works on the multiple level of network automation, like level 1, 2, 3, 4, and level 5 being the most autonomous network there is in the market. But right now, on the slides, it's level 3, but actually it's more than 3. It's Huawei is on a level 3.5 right now for the autonomous driving networks, where we have less and less human intervention required. We need in this to ensure that we have zero down. We have to zero down the human errors. For example, if you're doing configuration, there might be some issues, or you might do some errors in the configuration. To reduce that, or in fact eliminate that, iMaster provides automatic deployment of the network. We'll see how can we do that in following slides. And because it does it automatically, it's a more rapid network provisioning, and it improves deployment efficiency with a plug and play of the devices, and simplified network devices, a simplified network deployment where we have network resource pooling, multi-purpose networks, and automatic service provisioning. And by multi-purpose network, we have IT, IoT, and even the OT networks that can be managed and deployed through iMaster and C. All right. With fast service provisioning, we improve user experience through free mobility, that wherever they are, they can get the same experience. And while we are talking about the deployment, it's a GUI-based, intent-based deployment, where we generally do not have to worry about the subnet or the VLAN assignment. What we do is that, okay, this is a user A that belongs to marketing, for example. So on marketing, we have X, Y, and Z policies that can be implemented. So all these policies will be automatically implemented to the user A that is connected to the Wi-Fi. So it's more of an intent-based instead of the configuration-based deployment. On the back end, iMaster is doing the configurations on itself, by itself. And we have a quick intelligent O&M that is provided through iMaster NCE-Campus Insight, where it uses telemetry to gather the intelligence information from all the devices. And based on the history, or based on the traffic going through, it can precisely locate the fault and analyze the fault, given that what are the issues that are that can happen, and give you the solution based on the its intelligence. And it can also as I was saying earlier, that through the WLAN, that it can proactively optimize the wireless network traffic. For example, if it sees, like I mentioned, there is a load on one AP, it can automatically distribute the load of that AP to the neighboring APs, so that it has, so that all the users get this best experience on the Wi-Fi wireless network, and they don't face any jitters or latency. Right. And now we have another thing for the low intelligence, low carbon intelligence that is driving transformation of campus network and transmission media. Like this is the cable that Kashif had a question as well, I remember, regarding this, where typically what we have that in every building of the campus, there are access switches that are bound by the limitation of a copper cable, that they cannot go beyond 100 meter. And if you're talking about PoE, generally it's a best practice never to go beyond 80 meter or for PoE. So what we do is over here that we have a central switch. All right, the central switch can have optical fiber, hybrid cable, or Ethernet cable out. And all these cable and through the hybrid cable, we can connect the RGU. RGU is a remote unit that will be placed on the second, for example, next building, or that can be on the a different floor where we want to provision out the surveillance cameras or access points. These RGU itself have PoE out, and they don't need particularly any power. All the power is drawn from the central switch. So it gives us a very good example of a low carbon a network where we don't have to put separate power outlets to power on these devices. Similarly, we are reducing the number of access switches. Excuse me. So we are reducing the number of access switches required. So there might be a question, what is basically this hybrid cable? Hybrid cable is a combination of optical fiber and Ethernet cable, where it has a pair of optical fibers that carry all the data, and the part of a copper cable that carries out only the power and doesn't carry the data. So that way it can reach out to bigger distances. If we go through the product portfolio, we have on top, we have management, that is iMaster NC. iMaster NC is an autonomous driving network management and control system that we just discussed. And there's for intelligent O&M and experience virtualization, we have iMaster Campus Insight. All right. On the core switch level, or even the aggregation switch level, we have a multi-blade JC of S12700E switches, right? On aggregation, or in small cases, even the core switches of 8700 series that can provide 10G capability on the downlink as well. Then we have 6730, 5732, and 5735S series on the access series, on the access layer of the network. We have a complete range of Wi-Fi 6 APs from 8700 to 5700, all the way down to the hospitality APs, for example, 5762.13W. And then we have outdoor APs as well. Most of, let's say, 8760, 6761, they have a built-in slot for the IoT module as well, where you can plug in your Zigbees or other IoT modules, and that gives you a converged network instead of managing or having few separate networks. On campus routing, we have the smallest from AR 650 to the high-end branch, high-end headquarter router, that is AR 6300, that gives us a coverage of all from a very small branch to a very large office. We have a range of all the products over here in Huawei. So let's focus on the iMaster NCE-Campus. I saw a lot of questions about that. So I think this and a couple of following slides should address the issues. Okay, so iMaster NCE-Campus is a web-based centralized management and control system used in the CloudCampus solution. It delivers a wide range of functions, including network service management, network monitoring, network quality analysis, network security management, user access management, network application, alarm management, and report management. It also provides big data analytics capability and open application programming interfaces that facilitate integration with other platforms. On iMaster NCE-Campus, enterprises can perform service configuration and routine O&M, thereby centrally managing large number of devices across multiple branches what they have. So what most of the you guys, if you're familiar with the Huawei network, we used to have separate NMS called eSite. Then we used to have agile controller to give the NAC functionality, and Insight for the basic telemetry services. These were the three different products. Now all of these three products are converged into iMaster NC. That is not only a combination of these three, but much more than that. On the network layer, all the network devices, from the router, firewalls, switches, access points, and all the IoT network, they can connect directly to this iMaster NC. And this iMaster NCE can even integrate to the third-party applications through RESTful APIs for different applications like MDM, e-school bag, health management of there is an application for asset management. So it has all that you can think of in a campus network. It can provide you with the automated intelligence network, for example, software network-based automatic device service deployment. There was a question regarding BYOD. So we can just define a policy in this iMaster NC that once a device comes on board that is not an organizational device, that is not a company authorized device, the device should go to the guest portal. The user will enter, for example, their name, their employee ID, or some other information. And once that information is provided, it will automatically get all the information, check with the DB or AD. And based on the information, if that's correct, it can automatically provision that device. So there is a zero IT resource intervention over here. It's all done automatically, and the user can do all of that by themselves. And while the users are doing that, IT staff can work on the network betterment, and they can work on the innovation that they can think of in the network. On iMaster and following on this, we have manage plus control and analyze. We can do that on the unified database. It has a centralized detection, location, and processing maps available. How do we do that? I'll go through WLAN Planner if we have time today. I think it's already 2 o'clock. So if you talk about all the services that iMaster can provide, I think Saqib had a question on that. So right from the network planning to configuration of a LAN, WAN, and then monitoring, network service monitoring, we can give the access control, campus network virtualization. And once that's done, we can even go for the WAN virtual network configurations. iMaster is the brain for all the campus requirements, whatever you can think of. iMaster NC has that. Once the iMaster NCE-Campus is basically more of a monitoring tool, but when it comes to intelligence, we have an additional component that is added to it by the name of Campus Insight. There we see that what we have in traditional networks or in traditional NMS, all the information is based on the passive passive outputs. For example, if an issue has occurred, it will be reported to the SNMP, and generally all this is after 3, 5, or even sometimes 10 minutes delay. So once an issue has occurred, only then the traditional NMS can generate an alarm on the network. Yeah, and again, it's more of a device centric. For example, if a user comes to you and says that they were not able to connect or they were having some issues, let's say yesterday, there is no mechanism available through which we can track the user journey on that. And secondly, when once an issue has occurred, it requires an experienced resource to basically go locate the fault, and once the fault has been located in the network, they can rectify the issue. So this works in a smaller organization, but if it's a medium-sized or large organization, even locating a fault can take at least half a day or sometimes even a full day to identify that where the fault is, and rectifying requires another couple of hours. So a lot of time is wasted during these activities. But when we move towards the intelligent O&M, we get the information from the devices through telemetry. All right. On the telemetry, we have a real-time response that is coming from the devices, and not only we are getting the responses, but we also it's also analyzing the traffic pattern that is going on through devices. So if it sees that there are some jitters coming up, or if there is some delay that users are experiences, it automatically tries to locate and rectify the fault. So whatever is going on, it can automatically rectify it. Secondly, through this we can have a visualized experience. So in the last example, that when a user came and they said that they were experiencing delay yesterday. Now we have a tool that can not only identify that if the user was experiencing delay because of an AP, or there was some issue on the switch level, but it can give all like from end-to-end user experience and end-to-end user journey, so that we can locate the fault if there is any, and rectify it. And based on these traffic patterns that iMaster NCE-Campus Insight is following, it can give a predictive network optimization as well, so that it can load balance the network if required. It can automatically, for example, if there is an application data that is going through, let's say, aggregation switch 1, but aggregation switch 1 is automatically loaded, it will pass all the application data through the aggregation switch 2 to the user. So user can get the data in time, and there is no manual intervention required at this stage as well. So I think, Alina, I think time has passed. Can I continue, or we can have another session following on this, because I still have almost half the slide deck left.
It's up to you. If you feel like you don't have enough time now,
I think we can have another 1 hour session maybe later, because we are just on the slide 16 right now, and
okay,
there's a lot to left.
Here is my suggestion. We can schedule a second session with the rest of the slide, and you can also check the questions that I shared with you in the chat, and we can cover the questions, and for the rest of the presentation, and schedule for another time.
All right,
sure. Okay?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Great.
That works. So
I also put the number in front of the question, because there were many questions while you were presenting. So you can keep track of the number of questions. It's easier.
All right, sure. And there will be... I think we did that. Yes,
the first one is with the one with in what scenarios. That's how it starts.
Okay. In what scenario is a WAG group necessary in iMaster NCE-Campus? Okay. So there are a couple of scenarios that we can think of where a wireless access group controller group would be necessary. For example, if a customer already has a WAG deployed in their premises, and later on they add iMaster, right? So in that case, we can have a WAG group of their multiple sites that customer was already managing through their wireless access controllers, and now they are going for the iMaster deployment. So they can they can make groups specifically for that. How can we export the telemetry data for other platforms? We have a provision that we can export the data, but generally it's the data that is being gathered by the iMaster NCE-Campus Insight is for its own analytics, but it can be provisioned to some SIEM solutions if required, right? We can extend an API. The telemetry data is in real time. Yes, the telemetry data is in real time. Okay, question was 4. How does automation impact network management? Okay, this plays actually a great role in network management. Like if you have automated the network, so instead of spending time on configurations of all the network devices that are not only coming in new, but all the new application rollouts that are coming in, the IT staff can spend all their time just on the network management. So if they can see based on their own experience, or if they're seeing that, let's say, if, for example, in a bank, if it's end of the month coming up and it's a bank closing and going on. So what they can do is they can spend the time on that instead of going for the configurations. Okay, and this okay, I think there was managed by the central switch. I want to know if we can use any S-Campus or CDC switch as central switch. No, there was a question that are there any specific switches, S series or DCN switches that we use as a central switch for RGU? Yes, there is a specific series S5732 that we can use for that, because RGU generally these have a hybrid cable, and hybrid cables requires a specific kind of an SFP that is not supported on other access points. So yes, you need a specialized switch for that. Then there is a question from Kashif. If the WLC that IOC experience a failure and subsequently results in a system being offline, what will occur with the configurations when certain access points or switches are restarted? Will the configuration continue to function as necessary to await the restoration of WLC server for normal operations? This is more related to WLC, but yes, it is generally recommended to wait for the WLC restoration, because when there's a WLC present in an environment, all the APs, they'll make a CAPWAP tunnel to the WLC itself first, and to get all the management data from there. Okay. In this scenario, where customer access points and switches have been installed and configured, is it possible to subsequently add them to iMaster system without requiring complete reset of the device's configuration, or is it necessary to reset the configurations and re-add them to iMaster system? Right now, I haven't seen a scenario where we had to do a complete reset of configurations, but it's definitely recommended to go for a reset so that iMaster can get all the data, and through that we can manage all the devices. Okay, there is a question. What is plug and play in networking, where we just plug a device to a network and it gets all the configurations from the iMaster NCE, and it gets all the VLAN assignments and all the tagging is done, all the configuration is pushed through iMaster. So that's a plug and play. So instead of configuring each and everything yourself, iMaster will do it for you. Okay, does iMaster NCE-Campus support WLAN positioning function? Can we connect NC to third-party MDM device like Purple, Avanti, etc.? Yes, we can connect to the third-party MDM devices. And not only like Purple, Avanti, but also like even the competition, for example, Cisco ICE, you can connect to that as well. And All right, there's a question from Bas. Challenges with adopting telemetry that requires a whole document. uh, there is actually challenges in adopting telemetry is that if customer has legacy devices in their network, right? In that scenario, all the most of the legacy devices, they don't support telemetry itself. So in that scenario, we will have to rely on the SNMP. Telemetry is a very recent development in the network, and only the latest devices support. But in case of iMaster NC, you get a added advantage that, for example, if a Cisco or Juniper switches are in the network as well that support telemetry, you can add them, and iMaster will get all the telemetry information from there as well. That happens in an office Friday afternoon, an organization has scheduled a backup. So it sees that, all right. So it sees that on the basis of artificial intelligence that a Friday is coming up. So before Friday comes, it automatically load balances the traffic in a way that the backup that requires a high bandwidth is provided the bandwidth in a way that users traffic doesn't get any effect on that. Okay, there is another question. How does iMaster NCE-Campus Insight support capacity planning and network resource allocation for campus growth and scalability? Yes, iMaster Campus Insight basically gives you all the charts and all the data based on that. You can plan for the capacity planning and network resources. For example, you are going to roll out an application, all right, and that application requires a certain bandwidth. So when you're going for the deployment or when you're planning for that, iMaster NC, and you run basically the simulation on NC before actually deploying the application, the iMaster NC campus campus insight will tell you that okay, the application you're trying requires X amount of bandwidth at processing, but the resources you have available in your network does not have sufficient bandwidth or sufficient resources available. So you might need to add more, you can say more switches or more NEs to cater that. Is iMaster NC-Campus only about Huawei equipment, or if I have a Cisco third-party device, I can manage and monitor them fully through a NetConf and HCNP? Yes, you can do that. As I already told that even we have used that to manage Cisco and Juniper switches that support telemetry. And if they don't support telemetry, you can just go for the SNMP-based scenarios, right? You can get information through the SNMP. What sets the iMaster NC campus apart from other similar programs and campus sites? Okay. I haven't seen actually any product that has such capabilities that are comparable to iMaster NC. There are a few brands that can close, but in that scenario, they need, let's say, if I can be open, in case of Cisco, you need separate vBond, vManage, vSmart just to manage the SD-WAN scenario, right? You need 3 different servers, 3 different screens to manage that. But with Huawei SD-WAN, with the Huawei iMaster, you get all that just through one platform. So I haven't seen any platform that gives you such unified versatility with which you can not only manage your SD-WAN, but also your SD-LAN, and you manage your overlay and underlay network through a single platform. All right, there is another question. Can a switch be integrated in iMaster if it was formerly managed individually? Has it to be factory reset? I don't think it needs to be factory reset. There are definitely some parameters that needs to be pushed through iMaster. So its configuration will be wiped out, but the new configuration will be pushed through iMaster. Right? I hope that answers the question. Does iMaster NCE-Campus provide the real-time monitoring and alerting? Yes, it does. Yes, it does provide. Do we have any hardware-related supply issues with HCNP latest version? No. To the best of my knowledge, no, there are no such issues that we have seen, right? Okay. I think that was all the questions. So
yes, I think you covered so many questions. And can I just say that the feedback you received is excellent. And I agree. I think it was a really great session. I really appreciate that you took the time to answer each question. I think that's the most valuable. And I just want to thank everyone. Whenever you can, we will schedule the second session because based on the interest I noticed, I think that with the second part of this webinar, we will cover even more information. And I think that we should definitely schedule a second session as well.
Yeah, yes, definitely, because there's just like barely touching the surface of iMaster.
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
it's a lot
and
of
I think that we will do the same model. We will try to answer as many questions in the live session. I think that's the best way that our participants get to learn. They can ask particular questions on the topic rather than just general information. And so thank you for doing that. I think that's really valuable for everyone. Since we don't have a lot of time left, I just want to invite everyone to join the Huawei Enterprise Support community in case you haven't already. If you're not a member of our community, please register an account now. I shared the link in the chat. If you already have an account in the community, then you can go answer some questions in the webinar post, which is the link I shared now. This is the webinar post. I will share 3 questions after we end this session. Then answer the questions for a chance to win 605 points. And also, with the help of Umar, we will select the 3 best questions today, and we will have 3 winners from those who asked the best questions. I think there are many people who had excellent questions today, so thank you everyone for your valuable input. Thank you for valuable questions that helped us bring even more relevant content to today's TechTalk. And I agree it was an excellent session, so I'm looking forward to scheduling the second one. I think you have amazing skills as a webinar host and as a presenter, so thank you. Thank you for today, and I think you did an amazing job. And whenever you have the time, schedule the second session, of course, announce everyone in the community.
Thank you for having me, and sure we'll have the second session soon, very soon, hopefully.
Yes, it's up to you. Whenever you can schedule a session.
Sure.
So, thank you again for today. Thank you for presenting. Thanks everyone for attending. I hope this was a useful TechTalk. I think it's a great session. And please follow us for updates on webinars that we have. You can, of course, subscribe here, the subscribe page. I'll share the link if you're not familiar with it. You can subscribe and you can receive notifications about our tech talks, which are live webinars. You can only select the topics you are interested in. We will send you an email every time there's a new webinar on that particular section. So thank you all again. Have a nice day, evening ahead, depending on where you are from. Thank you again, Umar. See you next time.
All right, thank
Bye,
you.
everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank
you, everyone. Yes, bye.
Bye-bye.